Hi again. So I've been away for a while, and I just got back to working on this yesterday. So I was just watching what I showed last time, and apparently I haven't been giving any updates on the head. I guess because I get carried away while I'm working on it. Like I think it's so fun. It's like my favorite part of any character. So last time I just showed you the I carved out space for the like bridge of the nose and the eyes. But in the meantime, I've done a lot more sculpting. I'll probably put some progress pictures now, just to give you a breakdown of how this all happened. Because it at this point, I'm fairly happy with her jawline. I like this really square, wide jaw, and her lips have turned out really nice. I'm gonna see if I can zoom in a bit. Yeah, so here's a bit of a closer look on her face. Like her lips, I think, have a really nice sort of double-lobed bottom. There's a nice volume to them. Like the very, in my opinion, subtle chin and wide jaw. And I think she's turning out really cute. I did a couple of passes of trying to make more distance between the eyes, just because that's kind of the look I want to go for. This very slanted, wide set eyes look. And I'd set them too close in the beginning, or more of a normal width apart. So I ended up shaving down the crease that I'd made, and then putting a bit more clay on the inside, and then carving out the outside. So just kind of shuffling them around like that. So I think they're almost where I want them. So yeah, I'm gonna wait with cutting the top of the head and kind of doing that until I'm more happy with the overall shape of her head, because this is very lumpy still. I start sanding the chin because I'm like, oh, this looks so nice, and then I just kind of got distracted. One thing I've noticed that I think is gonna be an issue is that, so I put a lump of tin foil on the inside of the head, thinking that, oh yeah, that's gonna make the cavity for them, for the eyes to sit in, that sort of thing. But as I worked, I realized that you can see the tin foil through here and here, and the ball's not very big, mind you, so that means that it's like sitting here, and all of this back of the head is solid clay, which I'm not looking forward to that. That's gonna be something. If you ever plan on doing this, learn from my mistakes. Just maybe make the sphere of the top of the head first, and then build the face out from that. Because I think I put the ball and I immediately started on the face, which means that the top of the head I neglected for a while, because I was I was hyper focusing on this area, and then I suddenly realized that her head, like the top of her head, was just way too small, or her head wasn't way too narrow and stuff. So I just kept adding clay on the back, and now with this, and it's like, compared to any of the other pieces, it's heavy. This one's heavy. Learn from my mistakes if you try and do this. Anyway, this is not a tutorial by any means. This is me learning as I go. Another thing regarding the face that I haven't really planned out yet is whether or not I want it to be a head cap or a faceplate. So whether or not I cut it like from under the jaw over the forehead like this, and then you can replace the face just pulling it off the front while the rest of the head stays on the doll, or I cut open the back of the head like this, and then you lift off the back of the head, and then the face stays on the doll. I haven't decided that yet. I think it could be fun to do multiple face plates, but I feel like the head cap for me would be simpler to make, and I could also make ears that stay with the head, because otherwise, if I do a face cap and I cut it in front of the ear, you'll see that line, and I don't think that'll be very nice. But if you cut it behind the ear, you will have to sculpt ears for every face. and I am not great at doing ears, so I think the easier thing is just to do the open the top of the head rather than doing anything complicated. So yeah, onto the body. So the body, since last update, I didn't do any additional sculpting to it. What I did do was cut open the sides, take out the core, and carve out some very early beginning holes for fitting the legs and arms into. So these need to be a lot bigger and kind of have a divot for the ball joint to sit in. Same with this. So this is really interesting for like me learning how these things work, because I've been looking at hip joints and not really understanding how they work, or like why you see so much of the ball and that sort of thing, because I don't own a doll like this to reference. A very little experience with designing articulation and this sort of thing. So what I've found is that either you cut these slits up fairly high so that the leg can kind of bend up and this doesn't get in the way, or you make a cut into the thigh so that it's more of a perfect ball, and then that fits up and around this edge when the leg is bent. And I haven't planned this out really well, so I'm still not entirely sure how I'm gonna do this. But I think this is a very valuable learning experience, and I'll see what I figure out. The back here, I wanted to work down into the bum, but yeah, I'm gonna have to do a bunch of thinking, maybe some test sculpting, just figuring out. Luckily, the paper clay is easy to add and carve out from, so hopefully this won't be a big deal, but I have a lot of learning to do before I can get anything resembling a doll. I think I've been carried away with the face for a while, and yeah, this is where the body's at. I hollowed out the other leg. I had a foil ball inside of these bigger joints. I'll cut that out, stuck this one back together. This one still needs to be